Hello again, welcome to another Maya tutorial. Today I will be showing you how to create a PSD network, and you can attach different kinds of maps. You can attach color, bump, specular, you name it, you can attach it. Alright, so in the last video I laid out the UVs for our can that we're working on. So if you look at the UVs, they're all nice and laid out. And then at the end of the last video, I looked and this is the top of our label, this is the bottom, so we're going to have to rotate our label accordingly. So the first thing you want to do when you're making a new PSD network is you have to make a new texture. If you export as the default texture, then every object you create after that is going to have that image mapped onto it. Definitely don't want that. So I'm going to make a blend because this is a metal can. I'm going to middle click and drag it onto our object like so. Alright, so now we select our can, we bring up the UV texture editor again, and we're going to come up here to image, create PSD network. Alright, so first thing you want to do is you want to name it something. Soda can label. I usually go with a 2048 map unless there's some compelling reason not to. I mean, it will take up more space on your hard drive and such, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And you come over here and you select your different attributes. There's a whole bunch of attributes: reflectivity, diffuse, translucence, incandescence, bump, transparency. We're just going to do color today, and then we're going to do bump on the top a little later. Okay, so after you select a color and moved it over on the other side, you're going to hit create. It's going to go through, it's going to work. I had the box open in Photoshop checked, so it opened in Photoshop automatically for me. If not, you'll have to go to your source images folder in your project folder and open it up and manually open up in Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to put my label on. It's already built. It's actually right here. To save time, I already made it. So I'm going to go to File, Place. I'd recommend having your label inside of your source images folder in the project you're working on to make it easier to find. Mine's label design 1752. Place. Okay, so it's going to bring up this thumbnail. I'm going to rotate it accordingly. Alright, now here's where it gets weird. Our first instinct would be to scale it, holding shift and make sure it doesn't distort or whatever, but our UVs might not be distortion free, and we want to make sure that our label covers all of it. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to distort it, letting it snap to our UV layer because that's where it placed it, and then we'll move it into our color folder in here in a second. Okay, as you can see, there's not much distortion because we laid out our UVs correctly, so all our squares were right. But it looks like there's just a little bit, so it's good we scaled it like this. I'm going to click OK to place the texture, and there we go. Alright, so now we need to move it into our color group, and this will adjust the rest of the can color. I'm going to shift backspace, bring up this, I'm going to change it color, and I'm going to make it a lighter gray than it is. Right now it's 50% gray. Make it 25% gray. Because cans aren't that dark. We could also map on a brushed texture on here. We could do a brush bump, we could do all sorts of things, but I'm just showing you the basics, and then you can go wild with your creativity and imagination. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Alright, it's saved now. The little asterisk is gone. There's no progress bar down here, so if we go back to Maya and we hit this little PSD arrow circle button, it'll update our PSD network. I have textures turned on, so if you're not seeing your label, you can turn that on. And here we go. Our label is mapped onto our can. Looks pretty good. Looks really good on the can. There's no distortion. It'll probably look a little cleaner when we render it. So if I go back to my perspective view and I hit render real quick, I don't have a scene or lighting or anything set up, but you can tell it's real clean, nice lines, looks pretty good. Alright, so now we need to make the top, and we're going to do bump on the top instead of color. So I'm going to come over here to my hyper shader, and I'm going to make another blend. I'm just going to middle click and drag and drop it onto my top, like so. I'm going to select my top, bring open my texture editor, image, create PSD network just like we did before. I'm going to change this to soda can top. And here's my open automatic Photoshop button. I'm going to select bumped this time, move it over, create. And I'll come over here and it'll create my nice can top here. So I already have the bump built out in Illustrator. And if you notice, when I did it, I accidentally did it backwards. So this is, so white is high, black is low. I did it backwards. I wasn't thinking, but I kind of, it was a happy accident because now I can show you how to adjust for that if you do get handed a map that's backwards in Photoshop, because I showed you how to do that in Maya the other day, but I'll show you in Photoshop. Okay, so this is all laid out. I centered it on my artboard. So when I import it, it comes out right. If you notice, it is slightly off center. I was tracing an image, so there are imperfections in images. Sometimes that's a good thing when you're tracing. Sometimes that's bad. But I digress. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna go to File, Place, just like we did before. I'm gonna come down to my pop top, place, click OK, just make sure you can see everything. Okay, I need to scale it down a smidge, something like that. I don't have a can in front of me, so I'm just gonna guess. Click OK. Scoot it around until we're in a happy place here. Drag it into our bump folder so we can see it. Okay, so one of the main problems we're going to have is that if you try inverting the color right now, since it's a smart object with Control I or Command I, it's not going to do anything. So we need to right click it and rasterize the layer first. Then we can take Control or Command I. It'll invert our bump for us. So our blacks are low, that's scored right here for the pop flap part. There's an indentation here, and there's the raised part where the pop top is riveted to the top of the can, which I'll make in the next video. So I'm going to save this, come back over here to Maya, refresh my PSD networks. Initially it's not going to show up. If I turn on high quality, I believe it will show my bump. And there we go. There is my bump. So we have the scoring going on and the other things. If you notice, our pop top is not lined up with our can. So what you can do is you can select this and you can rotate until you're somewhere lined up with the front. This is only if you so desire. It's kind of a minimal thing, but can add to the realism. So there's our can with our label mapped on. So that was introduction into PSD networks. I hope this was informative and useful, and I'll see you all in my next video. I'm going to be covering making the pop top and deforming it. We're gonna do it as an illustrated object like we did with our logo, but we're gonna import it a little differently. So it'll be fun. I'll see you all there.